I was able to prove to myself that over the summer, everything was still running. I made more money in my business than I ever had before. Like, why not? Why not start to move from this energy of ease and inspiration and doing things because I feel like doing things, not because I feel like I have to or I should or I've been doing it that way or that's just what I was taught or how I thought things were supposed to be. And I was kind of like mind blown by this. Welcome to the Biz Builders Podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode here on the podcast. So excited that you're here today, and I am so excited to share this with you today, this episode with you today. I had this giant realization yesterday as I was reflecting on my summer and my business, and I'm excited to share this with you. It's kind of a little shakeup here, so buckle up. I think you'll really be able to resonate with this too if you are anything like me, which is a recovering people pleaser, a very, very go-getter, high achiever, always needing to be doing and always pushing to do more. I think that you'll resonate with this. So I sat down yesterday to write an email to my email list for the first time this summer. I took the summer off from a lot of things in my business, and they were a lot of the marketing things, right? So I didn't record any new podcast episodes. I pre-recorded all of those awesome interviews that you can go back and listen to, and I repurposed some content that I already had to kind of get me all the way through July and into August. And then I also didn't send any emails out to my email list, whereas for the past year and a half, I have very, very religiously sent out an email every Monday morning to my email list. So I said, I'm not going to send out any emails. I'm going to take that off of my business plate. I'm going to take recording podcast episodes off of my business plate. And then I didn't take a step back from Instagram, but I kind of just, instead of again, religiously posting every day or whatever on Instagram, I just kind of hopped on there when I felt inspired to, when I had something to share, when I felt like it, when it was just fun for me. So that was my summer. And all of those pieces are all what we call inbound pieces. It's where I create something on my end and then I put it out into the world and then I wait for people to come to me. So I took basically all of those inbound activities, those things, those marketing pieces off of my plate for the summer. And I did this intentionally because I just wanted a break, right? I just wanted a break. I wanted to enjoy the summer, and not that I couldn't enjoy the summer, because last summer I did all of those things and I still enjoyed the summer, but I just wanted to see what it would be like if I didn't do those things. And this was very, very, what's the word? Scary doesn't seem like big enough. It was very anxiety inducing. And it's because I had, for the past year and a half of running my coaching business, I had constantly done all of these things to a T. I didn't let up. I didn't ease up. I didn't stop. I didn't miss a week. I didn't miss a post on Instagram. I didn't miss a podcast episode being dropped. Very, very disciplined in these marketing things. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, is everything going to be okay? You know, that fear as business owners is that if we step away or we stop doing something, or if we take a step back, everything's going to fall apart. And then my fear was like, when I come back, I'm going to have to start from square one all over again, which that doesn't sound very good, right? And the other fear, of course, too, is that I wouldn't make any money. Like, these are the things in my head that are like, well, if you don't do these things, you're not going to make any money. So like, what are you going to do to pay the bills, right? So it was scary, but I knew that I needed to kind of test this out. And I wanted to test it out. So I pushed back on those beliefs. I kind of examined those beliefs about like, everything's going to fall apart. Everything's going to burn to the ground. You're not going to make any money. You're going to have to start from square one. I kind of pulled those apart, untangled them, and got my nervous system all regulated and was like, okay, you can do this. You're still going to do, like, there's still things that I did over the summer to run my business. I still served my one-to-one clients. I still, I ran my signature group program, Biz Builders, over the summer, and it went amazingly. It was incredible. Such a fun, go-getting, ass-kicking group of women that I just adore. And the other part of this too, which kind of surprised me, was that I continued to welcome new dream clients, like these new clients that I signed on over the summer into my one-to-one coaching containers are literally my dream clients. And so everything kept going, everything kept running. And so as I'm, heading back into the swing of things, and, summer's kind of starting to wind down and the kids are getting ready to go back to school, I sit down to write this letter to my email list about, like, hey, I'm back. I had a great summer. Hope you did too. Nothing real exciting. And as I was typing, I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a space and a time, and almost like I was journaling, reflecting on this summer and what it was like to run my business from that really like relaxed, chill energy and this space of inspiration versus like doing things because I felt like I had to, right? We always have to be careful about like, well, I'm doing it because I should do this. That word should is like, well, should, who says? So I start typing and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really, like, I have this like question. I'm like, what would it be like to move from this really playful, relaxed, chill energy and inspiration all year long versus just over the summer? And of course, the old me is like, you can't do that. Like, no way. There's no way you can do that. Like, you gotta get back on it. You gotta get back on and, send the weekly email, drop the weekly podcast episode, post on Instagram every day or every other day or whatever you're doing in order to keep things running. But then the other part of me that's like, wait a minute, like questioning this. If I was able to prove to myself that over the summer, everything was still running, I made more money in my business than I ever had before, like, why not? Why not start to move from this energy of ease and inspiration and doing things because I feel like doing things, not because I feel like I have to or I should or I've been doing it that way or that's just how I taught or that's just what I was taught or how I thought things were supposed to be. And I was kind of like mind blown by this because if you know me in real life, like this is pretty ironic. You know the Clifton Strengths like test that you take and it tells you like what your top 5 themes are or whatever, like what your strengths are essentially. And my number 1, you guys, is discipline. Discipline is my number 1, which doesn't surprise me. Like it's kind of just been my way of being for as long as I can remember. I am I can be a very disciplined person. For the past probably like 5 years, I have eaten the same lunch every day. Like I eat the same exact lunch every single day, just because like it fuels my body, not because like it's just, when I tell people that, they're like, what, you're crazy. For the past, 4 or 5 years, I've worked out every day, pretty much. Well, I shouldn't say every day, pretty much every day, with the exception of like being sick or like listening to my body and needing like a day to rest. But I do it because I enjoy it and because it feels good, and it's something that, you know, my future self is going to appreciate. So I'm very, very disciplined. I can show up and I can do things very easily, even when I don't want to, like even when I don't feel motivated. And it's this thing in my brain, I don't know, that I'm just like, you've already started, like you're however many days in, you might as well keep it going. And I also too, this, like I said, this is so ironic. I have several podcast episodes. Some of them are the most downloaded podcast episodes about discipline and how important being disciplined is in your business. And so this is kind of hard for me, like, and I'm like, do I take those down? Should I not? I'm like, no, don't take them down, because that's what I knew in that moment. And I'm not like knocking discipline at all here. Discipline, yes, is important, and it's not like we can just sit around all day and then expect things to happen. We have to get we have to get stuff done, right? But my question now that I'm playing with is, am I onto something more here when I talk about, or when I move from a space of inspiration and this idea of like, ooh, I'm excited and I get to do this marketing thing, versus I have to. And again, like it's something that I just think that it's just been my way of being, right? For a very long time, since as long as I can remember. In my head, like that way of being is the right way to do it, because it's just the way it's always been. But just like in coaching, when we push back and we go, okay, well, it's always been like that. Does it have to remain like that? Do you want to keep it that way? And this is another big realization too. Like I built my business because I want to feel a certain way every day. Like I want to feel at ease. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel, I just want to feel inspired and excited. And the reason I know that I want to feel like that is because I spent so long in my job, in my teaching job, feeling the opposite, feeling really constricted, feeling really stressed, feeling really like spread super thin. And the reason literally that I started my business is because I don't want to feel like that anymore. And a lot of the things that I'm doing, or that I was doing up until now in my business, I was just doing it because that's what I thought I should do. And because I wasn't ready to let go of the fact that there could possibly be another way to do things. And also, like, I don't know why. I just thought, like, well, that's what everybody else says to do. Everybody says be consistent. Everybody says, like, you know, show up when, you know, or your people are going to question you. But there's a whole nother, like, side to that coin that I'm realizing, and that this summer has given me proof of. And this is not to say that like, again, we have to do things. Like there are certain things that have to get done, but this summer kind of had me examining, like, what are the things that you're doing that you think need to happen in order to make an impact, in order to help women, in order to make money in your business. And a lot of the things that I was doing, I just don't think the energy that I was putting into it is not necessary, if that makes sense. I had gotten advice before. I've given this advice before about being consistent. And while yes, I do think that consistency in certain areas is really important, I just think that there's another way to do this. I was just listening to a podcast episode the other day, and she was talking about how like it's almost like a reality TV show, or like a TV show. Okay, let's talk about Bridgerton. So like, it's like Bridgerton, right? Like when it drops, you just cannot get enough of it. Like we binge watch it. Or Emily in Paris, like so excited for that to come out again. So excited. but it's not there all the time. Like, it's not on all the time. They're not dropping a new episode every week. And if they were doing that, I probably wouldn't be as excited about it as I am now about these new shows dropping. So it's kind of the same, it's just another side of the same coin. Like, it's just another way of doing things that have worked. And I've seen people, like, I've heard people talk about this and talk about, like, moving from a place of ease and playfulness and joy and not doing anything because you feel forced to, but doing things because you are inspired to and you want to. And I just was like, that's cool for them, but that's not for me. Like, there's no way I could ever do that. But again, this summer I've been like, oh, maybe you can. Like, wow, you're doing it. And so let me just touch too on this thing that I just said about a lot of the things that I was doing. Maybe I don't need to spend as much energy on them. And these are the things when it comes to marketing. And I think marketing obviously is great. Like, marketing is how we share our impact and how we share our offer and our transformation and how we help people with the world. And I even there's an entire module in Biz Builders in my group program about marketing. And I talk about how important it is. I talk about the consistency in there, and I still believe in that. But I've realized through mentorship, through trial and error, through this summer, that marketing really, it works slowly if you're doing it by yourself. It works faster and with less, like, I'm picturing like a scale, and there's a like marketing side and there's a sales side, and the marketing side doesn't have to be as big when the sales side is really, really strong. So for me, like, I've realized, and this is what I did this summer, and this is why I think that my business made more money than it ever has before this summer, is because the majority of our time in business should actually be spent on money-making activities and sales, not just those inbound marketing activities. Like, I hear clients all the time, they're like, okay, I want to, get my client, I want to get my first client. And so I'm working really hard day and night on creating this new opt-in, and I'm working on this funnel, and it's giving me such a headache, or they're spending like hours upon hours stressing about one social media post. And really, it's like, those things don't matter. Like, they're not going to fast track you to getting those clients and making that impact and making sales. What does fast track you are the relationships. And my business has truly been built on the foundation of relationships, on the impact that I'm trying to make, like this bigger picture of helping women believe that anything they want is possible, and teaching them how to stay in the game when they're like, nothing's working. Why isn't this working? Why am I not, why am I doing all the things and nothing's happening? And really also learning how to sell. This has been a game changer for me. And so this summer was spent on these specific, like, sales, money-making activities, not on anything marketing. And again, this is going to I know this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way. If you're still listening, you're probably not one of them, but I get it. And it's in our nature when we're doing something new. So like when we're creating a business or we're building this business, it's in our nature to want to do the easier things, to want to shy away from the harder things. And those easier things are those marketing things. It's the social media posts, even though, that can take forever and people stress about that. It's, the email list or sending the emails out or the podcast, like all that stuff that we stress about. Those are actually the easier things because you're doing them on the back end. It doesn't require you to like actually truly put yourself out there and talk about your offer, pitch your offer, tell people how much your offer costs, invite people into your space to work with you. And that's why we shy away from these other things. But there's so many ways that we can come at this. And I am super proud of myself for learning how to do this in a way that doesn't feel sleazy, that doesn't feel icky, that doesn't feel like a, car salesman or whatever. And so those were the things this summer that I focused on. I continued to focus on, along with serving my amazing clients, along with serving my Voxer clients, serving my group program people, and just continuing to build relationships and invite people into my space. And that's what produced these dream clients. That's what has given me, the confidence that yes, maybe there is another way to do this. So what I've decided moving forward, at least for my email list, as I was typing this out, I was like, I am just going to send emails when I feel like it and when I have something really, really juicy or fun or valuable to share. Like, I'm not going to sit down every week and force myself to type out an email because I feel like I should, or because that's what I've done for the past year and a half. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And that kind of also too, I'm just going to look at it like, instead of looking at it like, oh, people are going to wonder where you are and people are going to think you're inconsistent and people are going to, not trust you because you're inconsistent. I'm going to flip this into this like Bridgerton TV binge show scenario where like I just think that people are going to be really excited when they see me pop up in their inbox now, because now they know it's going to be something really, really valuable or something really, really exciting versus just me sitting down. And I'll be totally, totally honest with you. I'm sure you've probably felt like this before. I think a lot of people in the beginning phases of business have. Like when you sit down to like create the post or create the content or write the email or whatever it is, like there's this layer of like, oh my gosh, what do I say? How am I, what do I say? What's the subject line going to be? What am I going to send them? Is this valuable enough? Like, are they going to, it's just all that stupid stuff that we sit down and think. I'm like, I'm not wasting my energy or time on that anymore. I've done that because that's what I did, but I'm just not going to do it anymore simply because I just don't want to. So yeah, that's where my email is. And then as far as the podcast goes, I enjoy like creating episodes every week. This is my favorite way of creating content. It is my favorite way of connecting with people. So I'm still anticipating dropping a weekly episode, but if life happens or if something comes up or if I'm just not feeling inspired, I'm just not going to do it and I'm not going to stress about it. Nothing's going to fall apart. Nothing's going to break. Nothing's going to it's fine. Everything's going to be just fine. Like I always say, like, everything's fine. We're fine. You're fine. We're all fine. So yeah, and then I'll be on Instagram too as well. Not that I'm like going to give up any of these things, but again, I'm just going to revamp my strategy over on Instagram and I'm going to fully step into just like posting when I feel like it, or again, this whole idea of when I have something really juicy or fun or valuable and not post just to post, because been there, done that. I've proved to myself that I can do that. And I've also realized that it's not fun for me. Like I don't want to put things out into the world that I don't feel excited and inspired to do. So that is my big realization. I am wondering what your thoughts are on this too, because maybe you're in the space right now where you're like, ooh, wait a minute, like I'm doing those things every week and it's not working and I'm wondering why it's not working and I'm very disciplined and I'm going down the list and I'm checking things off the list. It's probably just because you need a little tweak in the way that you are focusing your time. But also there's so much beauty in this because we can shake it up. We can change things. We can do things differently. We can try things out and see what happens. The whole business thing, it's just an experiment, right? Like we just experiment, we try things, we do things. And I didn't actually realize this, but this summer was a big experiment for me in pulling back and doing things from an inspired place versus doing things from a disciplined place. And I'm looking at this not as like, I'll still be disciplined in some areas, but I'm also going to shift that into, I heard this on a podcast episode the other day. I think it was Andrea Crowder that said this, moving from a place of devotion versus discipline. So just being devoted to my business and loving my business, loving my clients, which I already do. But moving from that place of like, yes, I get to do this. I feel really excited and I'm just going to play with this. I'm going to detach myself from the outcome and I'm just going to play here. I'm going to experiment and see what happens. And this summer was definitely an experiment for me in proving to myself that I can do this. So, all right, you guys, my husband just got home from work, so I'm going to go say hi to him. And I hope you guys, I would love to hear what you think about this. Come on over to Instagram. I'm still in the DMs all the time. So drop me a message. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know where you are in your business, whether you're moving from a place of discipline or if you're all over the place or if you're like, I don't even know where to start. Let me know. We'll talk it through and have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is. And I'll see you next time right back here, same spot for the next episode. Okay? Bye, you guys. Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.